Anyway, remember how I was gonna get revenge on you for Christmas?
What? No, no, I don't actually. I
Do,
don't
do
think
you
that was
remember that? Do
determined.
you remember
No,
that?
I don't. I
Because
don't think that was
I
determined.
remember that. I've been plotting, so
I mean, fair
you
enough,
son
I
of a
guess.
bitch.
I don't.
That's
I don't understand what. You're just continuing the cycle of violence. Mine was revenge for like 3 times in a row, and I finally got one
uh-huh.
back.
Uh-huh. So anyway, we're watching this now.
Did you tape this off of TV? Like, what's? Oh man, you might have.
No, this is official
This
video.
looks. Oh boy. I'm
Did it even
expecting
show a
it.
preview? This is just
I
the
don't think
movie
it did.
now.
I think this is a movie. God damn it. Also, it's in fucking papyrus.
It sure is.
God damn it. Oh, an Art Camacho film. Wait a minute. Hold up. I know that name.
Uh-huh.
How do I know that name? I don't know why I know that name, but I know that name. That's not good.
The
Wait a
fake
minute.
preview is weird. Why was there a fake preview?
I don't know.
Little Bigfoot 2!
Oh, god damn it. Right.
That's right.
That's why I remembered Art Camacho, because of Little Bigfoot.
Dogs. They're coming. They're coming your way. They'll be here soon.
Hey, they're the dog people, aren't they?
I've seen some things in the mountains. Footprints bigger than a bear could make, only shaped more like a man's foot. And howl more human than animal.
I'm going to capture this creature. It already cost me the big one. Now I want the baby, and I want it now!
You know what he looks like? A Bigfoot.
A little Bigfoot.
Looks like he's an orphan. We gotta do something.
Little Bigfoot 2, The Journey Home. It's gonna be a wild, big sky, wilderness adventure the whole family will enjoy. Little Bigfoot 2, The Journey Home.
Welcome to the podcast, everybody. This is Boyks. This is my co-host, Ilion. We are here for some fabulous dog movies on this podcast called Rough Cuts, where we watch movies and then rate the dogs at the end, which this movie will definitely have.
Yeah. You're editing this one, right? I think I have a timestamp for what you need.
So what? Huh? What? Huh? So what? I don't know what you're talking about.
Smarten up, Shelly. He's not a dog. We can't do this by ourselves.
Wow.
Fuck!
Who are we gonna trust? We can't tell Dad. He'll do that.
I think that they just blew up your spot, boys.
Fuck!
Thank you, movie. I appreciate it. Somebody to back me up.
Fuck!
Is everything okay, kids?
So a couple episodes ago, we watched Little Bigfoot. Pre-October spookiness. It was spooky, but in a different way.
Yeah, you could say that.
It was spooky in a, I don't want to watch this creepy little Bigfoot, like, jorking it while smoking Bigfoot weed way.
Yeah, what I wanted to see the whole time was that man fondling his balls.
That is another thing that this movie is somehow missing.
This movie is missing high Bigfoot and old man balls, and I'm really sad about that, because those felt like key parts of Little Bigfoot lore.
So, we watched Little Bigfoot, and I thought, this is great.
It was great.
And the first thing I did was I went on eBay, and I found a copy of Little Bigfoot 2 on VHS.
Yep.
Because I'm like, well, if that was good, surely.
Also, Little Bigfoot 1 was good.
Oh, yeah, no, that's what I said.
Yeah, it was
quotations
good.
were implied.
It was very good.
This is from Sun Valley Home Video in the great state of California.
Mm-hmm.
Specifically Sunland, California, according to the VHS tape. This is, you can tell from my copy, a sale version.
Oh yeah, it's got a little bit of a yellow
sale
clearance sticker left. Yeah.
So this was like bottom of the barrel film
yeah.
that somebody
Yeah.
grabbed. Like, well, I guess, maybe. It
This
might be.
was at a Hollywood Video in a bin collecting dust for like 10 years while they were trying to close out.
I can actually trace where this tape came from.
Oh, yeah.
Because it has a
Oh, God, it
rental
has the
sticker,
rewind and everything.
a VH1 video rental.
Yep, it
Please
sure does.
be kind, rewind, the best show in town, over 10,000 videos. And on the side it says VH1 video number 5, which is the 5th location. This is apparently a video rental chain from Indianapolis, Indiana. So this is an Indiana copy of Little Bigfoot 2. We've got
Indiana
history
must
here.
apologize for its crimes.
But you can tell this is also one of the last tapes they sold before they went out of business, and they were just trying to get rid of their inventory for
sure.
VHS. Almost certainly.
It has to be. There's no way that you'd keep this fucking...
And my copy has an impact mark in it. Where somebody punched it or something, and there's like a big crack in the shell. That's hidden by
the
sticker.
minute they started watching Little Bigfoot 2, they pulled it out and started punching it instead.
Not unlike Little Bigfoot in the first movie. But... So the director of this one, Art Camacho, is also the director of the last movie. And he decided that that movie was not popular enough, so he wanted to redo it bigger, with a bigger budget, be more Spielberg.
And he could write it, because he's the real
way better.
genius.
So he's going to get a group of actors together that are known, big quotes, and remake this movie, and it'll be popular, and it'll be a franchise. Because in the first movie, Little Bigfoot is not Little Bigfoot, actually. Little Bigfoot is Bilbo. He's a hobbit.
Bilbo Baggins.
Well, animals don't run on schedules, Peyton.
Bilbo's not an animal. He's a hobbit.
In this one, he's Little Bigfoot TM. After every time they talk about him.
Yes.
Because they are trying really hard to brand franchise this character.
They basically stare at the camera every single time they mention him. Did you see that? That looks like a Bigfoot, but small. It's like a Little Bigfoot.
And even the villain's like, I want to get that Little Bigfoot.
Is there anyone that could give me an answer to what we could be doing instead of just standing here? I can. Now that Little Bigfoot must be somewhere between here, the timberline, and the ridge.
Did you get that? Did everybody get that?
Is that good? Yeah, did you catch it?
Okay, close one. Let me read the box here a bit, because we've been talking about this. The tagline for this movie is, "There's something new afoot." That's as far as they got.
I mean, there is something new, because one of the things is this movie has no through lines from the first one.
No.
It's a full reboot. There's
the first
nothing.
one being an environmentalist movie that teaches you very deliberately, step by step, how to spike trees to stop loggers.
Correct. This one is also an environmentalist movie through the magic of racism.
Yeah, this one's like the magic Native American racist movie, unfortunately. Yeah. Let me read the back of the box. So while camping out with their dad, Stephen First of Animal House, our first complaint.
Yes. Yeah, I had a lot of first complaints.
Brian, Taryn Noah Smith from Home Improvement. That is one of the kids. Shelley, who is Melody Clark from Baywatch. Another kid. But this is our Baywatch actor.
There was a Baywatch actor in the first one.
Yeah,
but she was the rad environmentalist.
That was the environmentalist. This is the small girl.
Is this the child?
The child from Baywatch. Yeah, what? And their friend Michael from Roseanne discovered incredible new pal, Little Bigfoot in all caps, TM branded.
Yeah.
But there's no time to play as a greedy industrialist aims to capture the creature And the kids must find a way to return their furry friend to the freedom of the forest. That is not what is happening in this film.
No.
It's a family vacation they'll never forget. Also starring Tom Bosley from Happy Days.
also the boss is here.
It's just also, by the way, we also got Tom Bosley. Please watch our film.
Tom Bosley is like this mystical sheriff.
He's a sheriff that knows about Bigfoot, but it doesn't matter that he knows. Like in the first movie, when the sheriff's like, "Oh yeah, I know Bigfoot."
Yeah. Yeah, no, him and I are friends.
Yeah, in this one, it's just like, "Oh, I'm pretty sure Bigfoot's real," and then that's the end of it.
But he's always like coming over to them and just whispering like, you know, life lessons and stuff. Like he's just kind of.
He's the magic grandpa.
Yeah, like he's very much like he kind of comes in and he's like, now kids, remember, like you've got to stand up for what's right. Sheriff out. And just like fucking leaves constantly.
Running time 93 minutes, which was, it felt longer. Gotta say.
Yeah.
Unfortunate. One thing I wanted to point out though, because I was looking at the box, and this is what I was trying to find when we were watching the credits after the film. Animatronics by John Criswell and Larry Finch. So I don't know if you know that name. John Criswell, specifically.
No.
That is the animatronic guy who did the animatronics for Reanimator.
Oh.
Ghoulies. The Garbage Pail Kids movie.
Hey, those little creeps are sure ugly.
Oh yeah, I'll show you ugly.
And of course, probably more well-known and more specific to this movie, the Dinosaurs TV series.
Okay, I can see that.
Yeah.
So he didn't bring his A game to this one.
No, he did the animatronics for the little Bigfoot face, and it does not look good. It looks better than it did in the first movie, don't get me wrong.
He looks a little bit less like he's
masturbating.
Orgasming.
I get it. Yeah, less like he's masturbating.
Little less Ahigo face.
I'm gonna get an Ahigo little
Bigfoot shirt.
Like hoodie. Yeah, hoodie. I saw a Junji Ito one like that for sale, and I'm like, oh, you don't want that. Because somebody's going to look at that Junji Ito sweater and be like, oh, that's just an Ahigo thing.
Yeah, they won't actually realize the joke.
The other one is the Space Jam one. Which is even worse.
No, that's better. That's better.
Anyway, Little Bigfoot 2. Little Bigfoot 2. I was hoping for funny. In the first movie, we got so many car chases.
Yeah, the first movie had a lot of action, and it had like a very memorable villain. Like it was one of those movies where the villain is very stereotypical in a lot of ways, but it gives the actor a lot of meat to work with and just like overact and be wild with it, right? Like his rolling the balls in his hand and constantly like, well, I'm going to like. He's very over the top, but in a fun way.
Like, our character has a gimmick, and that gimmick is weird.
Yes.
Which makes him more interesting.
It makes him interesting.
Yeah.
He's a typical 80s villain. Like, it was great.
And in this one, it's just Guy, I guess. But the movie does start with a army of hunters running through the woods after little Bigfoot and his mom, the mom Bigfoot.
Including with a helicopter. They
had
the helicopter for one
shot.
day.
Yeah.
They were really excited about that helicopter.
And I'm like, this is something I think is cool about this director, that they're like, I'm just going to throw in helicopter shots. I'm going to throw in car chases. We're going to flip a vehicle.
He flips a vehicle in both of these movies, and that's great, yeah.
And you're like, hell yeah, except it's barely anything.
Yeah.
They spent all this money and budget on this cool effect, and it's so nothing. I don't get how they did that.
Because it just doesn't matter to the movie is why. They, like, flip a car really early on
Yep.
in this chase. But it's before you've even introduced anything. This is just the credits.
It's a really long credits, too.
There's
like 10 minutes of them walking through the woods.
Hunting
as
little
nothing
Bigfoot.
happens, just hunting little Bigfoot and the mama.
Mm-hmm.
And then the hunters corner the mom after she hid little Bigfoot from them.
Yes.
And then they just blast her.
They shoot her with a tranquilizer, but on the edge of a cliff.
and she, like, Wild West spaghetti western jumps backwards off the cliff.
Yes, like
hitting
she was
every
blown
rock
away.
on the way down.
Mm-hmm.
And you can
and
tell...
they make it, like, pretty obvious. They show her, like, splayed out corpse.
Yeah, her corpse and her bashed in brain, almost certainly.
Oh, yeah. Like,
And
they
like,
kind of make it real... Ooh.
Ah,
She's in, like, a
ooh.
real twisty position down there, huh?
Aw, jeez. Oh, that Bigfoot's dead. Bashed its head in.
Yup.
Oh.
Come on, let's see if it's still alive.
Ouchie.
And the hunters are like, dang.
Wanted to catch that one alive because...
oh well.
Because...
But then, like, the evil industrialist man, who in the first movie was a logging company owner, who in the first movie he just didn't want there to be any protected species on his logging land so that he could keep logging and terrorizing the area and removing all the trees, like Ferngully style.
Which made sense. Like, it's kind of... Like, it's a Ferngully plot. It's very tropey. But at least it makes sense.
In this one, it's just... He bought land, and he just wants to hunt the Bigfoot because he's trying to get rid of any Native American artifacts on his land so that they don't know that it should be protected and given back to the tribe that owns the area that should have it to begin with. I don't... Where they're going with this?
This is the problem with this one, is like in the first one, like you're saying, like those two things, they intersect and become one very obvious plot, right? Like, he wants to get rid of the protected species on there, because they also talk about him getting rid of grizzlies and stuff, too.
Yep.
And, like, environmentalists and indigenous groups are trying to stop him because he's logging and doing all this stuff. So, like, all the environmentalism feeds into the little Bigfoot kind of plot, and they work together. In this one, it's like, well, I need to hunt the little Bigfoot so that I can use it for industrial purposes, which, like, what the fuck does that mean? And what else is he doing with the land? Like, they don't make any kind of story about why he has this land other than that.
Yeah, I don't...
And then there's also another plot of, indigenous groups want the land back because
of the land back movement.
Which, yes,
which is
they
totally
should.
valid. Yeah.
And they're going like, oh, well, this was always owned by indigenous people. See, like, there's artifacts and stuff on there, and he's trying to hide them. But
that has nothing to do with Bigfoot.
Intersect.
Yeah.
Those don't intersect in any way whatsoever. And the ham-fisted ways they try to intersect them are exceptionally racist.
Yeah. Well, you see, it's because the tribe was friends with Bigfoots.
Yeah.
Is what they say. And I'm like, what does that have? Okay, but...
What?
Why is he still hunting the Bigfoot then?
What? Yeah, and well, why is he still hunting the Bigfoot? And when you say he, you now mean the indigenous trapper that he hires.
Too. They hired a Native American trapper with magic powers of weed scent.
Yeah, who's constantly, like, going around, and, of course, every time that he's on screen, they start playing, like, flutes and stuff. And sometimes, when it's like, okay, this is actually indigenous music, you're kind of like, it's still not great, but you can kind of see something there. But this one feels like it's not actually real indigenous music. Like, no. I question it.
It's like in Gremlins when they go to the shop to get the Mogwai, and it's playing like the typical Chinese music. It's like
yeah,
you're like,
it's
you're
like, I don't think this is really actually it. And then and they kind of make I'm pretty sure it's a made up indigenous language that they use in this too.
Maybe,
I'm
yeah.
almost
The
certain.
tribe is real though, although it wasn't federally recognized at the time of the film, but it is a real tribe.
There's a lot of like, I'm pretty sure they just made up a lot of shit for this. But he's going around and like everywhere that he goes, he's constantly like, you know, he's walking like he's doing like stealth movements. Do you know what I mean? Like he's kind of going down on his knees and he's always like sniffing everything because of course, he's, you know, this exceptional indigenous tracker, so he's the only one that can smell things. And,
I'm pretty sure I could track little Bigfoot.
With the way that they're showing
have
it.
you heard? Every character in this movie comments constantly about how rancid that Bigfoot smells.
Yes. They constantly talk about how fucking nasty he is.
What is that fucking smell?
Yes.
And
anytime like, he's near.
It's almost positively the weed.
He's got some musk.
And we see the weed growing in his cave.
Yeah, he's got a big setup.
So, like, we know that's it. But
he's got a musk, dude. And
anyway.
Not only that, but like when he's walking through the woods, he has the costume is obviously very restrictive.
It's not great.
And so he's got like this like thump like walk that's just really like you would make an Unreal trail through the woods if you walked like that.
If you've ever watched the Bigfoot video of the supposed Bigfoot walking in the woods, it's like a very casual stroll. It looks like it's a guy in an ape costume just strolling down.
Almost.
But clearly it couldn't be. It has to be a Bigfoot.
It must be a Bigfoot.
But in this movie, it's just like hopping and prancing and galloping through the woods.
Yeah, real skipping kind of gait.
I don't know what they were thinking with that. I don't get it. Yeah. It had to have been just uncomfortable.
They just couldn't move in it, yeah.
Anyway, so we're introduced to the kids. There's Game Boy Kid, who gets in trouble at school for playing Game Boy.
Yeah, he's skipped out on a bunch of... Oh my god, the beginning of this is so after school special. You immediately rolled your eyes back. It's so bad. So we have Dad Steven first, who is...
a criminal.
I mean, yes, but also an insurance salesman.
He's a criminal to film.
Yes, correct. Yeah. He is... I don't know if it's that he's given nothing to work with, which is, I think, part of the problem. But the other problem is I think he just fucking sucks. I'm gonna be honest. I think he was terrible.
Like, he's trying to be like a Moranis or a Woody Allen or something, but
he's like a mixture between the two.
It's so... Like, you can tell when some people act, you get the feeling there's a character there.
Yes.
When he's acting in this, it's just like he's doing acting. A voice or something. Yeah. It doesn't feel anything like a character.
It feels like community theater.
Yeah.
And I do mean that derogatorily.
Like
sometimes I mean that
community.
positive.
No, I get it. Yeah.
No, he's not quite that bad, but he's not Chevy Chase. He and his kid, he's on the phone kind of thing. Like the kid gets the phone call and the dad picks it up to listen in on it. Remember when you could do that? And he hears that kid hasn't been in school. So then the kid's like, well, Dad, I do it because of you.
If only you stopped paying attention to your other job and started paying attention to your job, which is raising your children.
And they have like this soft music in the background and everything that's like, no, son, I promise I'll be better. And it was
Father's Sunday and you couldn't even take the day off of work. Like, what are you talking about? Well, that's why
we'll go on a vacation together, and I swear I'll do my real job as your father. I'll truly be there as a dad. And that's the level of acting that it's at too. Like it's that. It's who talks like
miserable.
This? Either side of them. It's so fucked.
Dad, last Monday was Father and Sunday at school. You're supposed to come to my class and eat with me in the cafeteria.
This is fucking awful.
You were the only dad that didn't show up.
What the fuck,
you
Dad?
Promised.
God, this is some fucking after-school special shit.
I had that meeting and...
Oh my god!
I did. 3 times.
I had that meeting.
We're too busy. You're always too busy. Kept looking at the door.
I learned
hoping
it
you'd
from
come.
you,
Kept looking at the
But it
door,
never happened,
hoping
Dad.
little Bigfoot would open it.
I had to work.
That's all you do. Is work on insurance policies.
Hmm.
You have another job too, you know. You're supposed to be a father.
Yeah!
I'm sorry. I've been busy.
This is how kids
it's not
talk.
easy. You know,
This
being
is
mother,
how everyone
father,
talks.
Caretaker and
And then there's the daughter who is only her only like thing is that she has stuffed animals,
Her only thing is plot contrivance.
which is only so they can hide little Bigfoot later. That's it.
correct.
The
Yeah,
only
and that's-
reason.
The only character point that she has is pure plot contrivance. It's fucking
Yeah,
miserable.
and then there's neighbor kid who is constantly talking about the Playboy channel at the beginning of the film.
Mm-hmm.
And how they should go over there instead of hanging out in the woods. to
Oh
watch
man,
Playboy.
I didn't want to have to miss. I wanted to miss school so we could go and watch the Playboy channel, and now you got caught by the principal. Oh,
And now we have to go
man, jeez.
camping. Aw, jeez.
Yeah, so our other kid, the like family kid,
Game Boy kid,
blackmails
yeah.
him. Yeah, blackmails this kid into going camping. I guess.
And it's just so they can play Game Boy together on their link cable on the
Yeah.
car ride. But
He just really, really wanted to get like Graveler.
he
and
wanted
stuff.
to trade Pokemon to evolve. Yeah, I get it.
Oh, get Golem. That's what it is.
They get
Golem's
Golem,
the one
yeah.
that you get. Yeah, and Gengar.
So they go to the woods, and they're constantly talking about poop and poop tents, and how tents smell like poop, and everything smells like shit out here, and it's very dooky. And
Yeah.
because there's poop jokes all over the place. It's a funny. Actually, I do have to give this movie credit. It gave me the feeling of being stuck in a car with children that are constantly
Yes.
fighting for 10 to
Yes.
15 minutes of real time footage.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that did feel realistic.
And-
I felt like I was trapped in that car.
It felt like an escape room where I was looking for the how do I unlock it? Do I just pull the lever up? Like
Point and click adventure
Yeah.
where it's like, how do we get the dad to crash the car so we can leave?
we were hoping he would run into little Bigfoot on the road because the Bigfoot,
They set it up.
the mom and the little Bigfoot were on the road in the opening
Yes.
sequence. They were just hanging out on the road because
They're
the
just
actors
hanging out
were
on the
like, "I'm not
highways."
going into the woods in this costume."
Yeah, I was like, little Bigfoot's really easy to spot, actually.
So,
He's just always out on the road.
They set up that they just hang out in the middle of the road. So, like, I mean, the dad's constantly
What a
distracted
mystery.
and looking away from the road, and it's like, oh, he's gonna hit little Bigfoot.
Mm-hmm.
And
No, nothing happens.
that would have been a better start to the film. Not only because
Oh,
I
much
would have felt better after
Yeah.
meeting little Bigfoot, but also it would have given them a reason to meet little Bigfoot.
Yes. And, like, the dad's character is so inconsistent here, too, because he's going, oh, like, we've got to go out into the woods, and, like, I'm going to be camping, Dad, and we can all hang out together. And the minute they're out in the woods, he opens up a laptop, and he gets mad that there's bird song,
Mm-hmm.
and that there's nature smells. So he, like, opens up garbage to sniff so he can feel like he's in the city, and puts on a bunch of city sounds in his Walkman so that he can feel like he's in the city again, which is their joke. But he's the reason they're in the wood. Like,
He's the reason
he
they
doesn't
went
have to do
camping.
this.
Yeah.
Yeah. They don't even stay consistent to their own characters at any point.
He's also single dad.
Oh my god, is
And
he ever?
He is so Elon Musk coded, divorced dad, dumbass.
Yeah, he even just goes down to the pool and starts hitting on random 16-year-olds.
He sure does. There's just a point in this movie where like we don't have enough TNA in this PG film.
I'm so mad that you said that immediately. You're like, oh, we're gonna go down to the pool so we can get some TNA, and I'm like, oh, please don't.
No,
and
that's why
immediately
they
it
went
does.
there.
And it was. I'm sure that woman had to be. Well, I mean, girl. She couldn't have been 18, right? Like,
Maybe it could have been an 18-year-old playing a younger character. So who knows with this film?
Maybe.
Who knows?
But,
but it was creepy.
It was real. She was way too young.
Yeah,
she
was
way
too
young
creepy.
for that.
And the kids are like, "Come on, Dad, go hit on that.
Go hit on her. Go get
that lady in a swimsuit." And I'm just sitting here like, "Oh man, they really needed to get that TNA in there, didn't they? just to get something in the film." I get it, but man, it sucks. Finally, TNA. What?
Oh, please. She's half my age.
So it's the 90s. Come on, go.
It's the 90s.
Why? What? What does that have to do with anything?
What the fuck? Oh, finally!
Oh, God. Fuck this.
Anyways, so yeah, the dad's listening to his sports Walkman. You could tell because it's a yellow Walkman.
Yes,
it was only the sports line.
Yo, I hate that I knew that too. You're allowed to know that because you're a weird pervert, but I'm not supposed to. I'm normal.
And then little Bigfoot just shows up for no reason at all.
Yeah, he just wanders into camp.
Wanders in, knocks over his Diet Coke. And the whole time the dad's like, "What is that rancid, disgusting ganja smell?"
Oh, Jesus Christ.
God.
Starts sniffing himself.
Oh,
wait, I thought I hid that from the kids.
Yeah, did I hit that? Oh, fuck.
I mean, I hit that before when we came out into the woods, but like I thought that I kind of,
And then he doesn't see the little Bigfoot, obviously, because he's the most oblivious, gullible dumbass in the world.
Holy shit, in this movie he's got the attention span and brains of like a Cocker Spaniel. It's amazing.
And also the landowner industrialist had stopped by at some point because they were trying to hunt the little Bigfoot in secret.
Yes.
And they told them that there was some evil, monstrous predator attacking campsites and watch out.
You should probably leave.
And he's like, "Okay, we'll leave tonight."
Mm-hmm.
So they're setting all that up. At the same time, the kids run into little Bigfoot, and they're scared because it looks like a garbage pail kid.
Yes.
And they're like, "Oh, Jesus, fuck. Is that the monster they were talking about? That's just a little weed demon." That's not a monster.
Why does he smell like shit?
What? Why is that monster high as fuck, or is it just me? And then the little Bigfoot's like reaching towards him, like, "Whoa, man."
Yeah, oh my God. When you said like, "Oh God, he looks so high," and then he slowly like starts stroking the child's like t-shirt. Like, yeah, okay, yeah, I getcha. Fair enough.
That Bigfoot might have been on shrooms. I don't know.
Yo, I can hear your shirt.
How is this important to the plot though? That's why do they keep mentioning it?
The monster?
I don't know.
Is that the monster? It looks high.
Shelly, be careful.
What? It really reaches out like that. Okay, that could be a clip, honestly.
Is that it?
It looks high, and it like reaches out. It's like, whoa.
You know what he looks like?
And then the kids overhear the landowner talking about trying to kill the little Bigfoot, so that they know they need to protect this small weed demon.
Yes, and this has all just been total happenstance.
Because.
Yeah.
I don't know. Whatever.
Everyone happened to wander into their camp at that exact moment so they could go on this specific adventure.
And then there's just a bunch
enough.
of padding for a while in the camp.
Yes.
That there's like the kids talking about how lying is cool, and they're trying to teach the sister to lie and not always tell the truth. And if
she's trying to tell about little Bigfoot.
And if you do, I'll beat your face in.
There's them trying to get the dad to hit on underage girls.
That's a little later when they go to town, yeah.
Sure, but like there's all that kind of stuff for a lot of this. Like it's just very.
I don't know what was up with the barbecue sauce, hot sauce thing. Like, why'd they bother? They didn't even like follow through with a joke.
Yeah, they'd have little Bigfoot dump a bunch of hot sauce into his ketchup that he says is
ketchup
barbecue
sauce, which is just ketchup.
It's just ketchup, and then he eats a hot bite and goes, "Whoa!" and
Yeah.
That's it.
There's a fun line where the neighbor kid is talking to the dad, and he's like, "Hey man, why are you doing that?" And the dad's like, "I'm not your man, buddy. I'm not your guy, friend."
Nah, that was great, my man.
Mike, listen up. I'm not your man, okay?
Well, the dad absolutely hates that kid.
He hates slang, hates that kid.
That dad hates, I think, all the kids, to be honest.
This is a man that would take a scoop of sour cream and be like, "Oh, that's spicy."
Yeah. They're trying to, like I said, they're really Rick Moranis / Woody Allening him. He's very, jeez,
and not
golly,
unlike in Ghostbusters when they had sex with a ghost.
I can't wait to read this book. They tell me there's a story in the book, it's hard to ask it, about you having sex with a ghost.
Oh, boy, yeah. But this was at a time when I was filming Ghostbusters.
Oh, no.
Right. A little Bigfoot sneaks into the dad's tent at night. It hides under his cot.
I hate it.
And then as the dad's sleeping, he starts having a wet dream about his ex-wife.
Did you know he's divorced? Because he's going to tell you a lot.
And he's reaching out, and he's like touching little Bigfoot's back of his head. And he's like, "Oh, man. Oh, what'd you do?"
Why did they have this?
Oh, no.
Baby, I like what you've done with your hair.
No. It doesn't go anywhere. This doesn't even go. I mean, not that I would want it to, but it doesn't go anywhere because he just rubs all over little Bigfoot, and then he wakes up and he goes, "Whoa, there was I found the predator.
There was
that
a
was
monster. Yeah, the predator's the dad, but there was a monster."
Oh God!
I'm not wrong.
God damn it!
I'm not wrong.
The reason we stopped by is my men and I have seen a very dangerous predator in this area.
You can't just do that to me.
Also, by the way, the place they're staying is called Sasquatch Valley.
Yes.
Which is so fucking dumb.
Some writers know subtlety, and they're all fucking cowards.
The Sasquatch Valley is not disputed property.
And anyway, the next day, the kids don't want the family to leave because they need to protect little Bigfoot. So they steal the car keys from the dad. And then later that day, they steal the car and get into a car chase with the army of hunters.
Yep.
And during that car chase, they have a watermelon that little Bigfoot has. Like, for some reason.
Just in the back of the car.
The back of the car.
Camping food.
And they throw a watermelon on the car that's chasing them. And then the guy driving's like, "I can't see."
Oh my God, what do we do? And then they pull over, and the other guy's like, "Don't worry, I got this." And then it shows them turn on the wipers.
Yep.
And he's like, "All right, you can see again, now go."
Now go, like, you did it.
The driver didn't know to use the, like...
What? Why?
Why? They didn't have him get out and, like, clean it out? Like, I'm pretty sure the wipers couldn't handle it. Like, that would have made sense. But him just being like, "Here, you have to press this button, and then these magic things wipe away." And you're like, "What?"
Maybe the director...
Do we need to stop the car for this?
Maybe the director-writer just found out about that feature. And was like, "Oh man, people are going to love this." Did you know you could turn on wipers? And then
if
he
you
started...
told me that this man had no idea how people worked, or like cars work, or anything works, I would definitely agree, so fair enough.
But then the kid drives back to the campsite, drops off little Bigfoot and the rest of the kids. The dad's like, "Hey, why'd you steal my car?" And then Game Boy Kid's like, "Don't worry about that. There's an army of hunters coming after us."
Yeah, don't worry. There's a bunch of guys with guns that are
Yeah, don't
here.
worry. So the gun army shows up. And
There's like a dozen guys with rifles.
And they just start like going through all their things, opening up their car, pulling shit out of their trunk.
Mm-hmm.
And the dad's like, "Hey, you can do that."
You're armed. All right. I'll just sit here quietly.
And right as they're about to find little Bigfoot, the sheriff shows up for some reason, and just conveniently shoos them away.
Yep.
I don't know why.
Hey, you guys shouldn't be doing this. Hey, should you do something about it then as sheriff?
No.
Maybe eventually.
That's not my job. I'm here to harass people. And
They're all armed. I'm not going to do anything to them.
So then the next day, little Bigfoot climbs into the back, hiding in all the stuffed animals, because somebody saw E.T. recently and was like, oh, if we hide amongst dolls and stuffed animals, they'll never see it. I liked that from that movie. Yeah. And then they drive to a hotel in another town so that they can get a bunch of shots of them walking around the town to save money on production costs.
We can make sure that we get the TNA pool scene.
And the TNA scene. While they're driving in the car, little Bigfoot is in the back seat, and it zooms in on him, and he's making like an orgasm face.
Which is the face that he normally makes.
Which is the normal face. But this time...
Traditional little Bigfoot face.
This time he lets out a huge rancid fart.
Yep.
That is so rancid that everybody in the car goes, who took a shit? And this is an extended long scene of the little Bigfoot dookie, for some reason.
It sure is.
Oh, no, oh, God!
Oh, Brian, man, that is gross.
Sorry, Dad, I guess I have gas.
Are you alright?
No, Dad, it's just the onions. No. Oh, man.
You smell like your mother on that all-you-can-eat corned beef and cabbage night.
Anyways.
And then they make it to town.
But it hard cuts from that. The reason I mentioned it hard cuts from that scene to our Native American representative of the land back movement talking to reporters about land back and how they should have their land back and that you can't purchase this. It's not yours.
Yep.
And
she's so right.
And it's such a... How do you go from little Bigfoot taking a shit in the car
to
your environmental message?
Yeah. And I mean, honestly, the worst part about a lot of this is that I agree with the message that they're trying to say here. They just do it so bad and so racistly. Why? Like, it's incredible how they can be heart in the right place and still do everything wrong about it. Do you know what I mean? Because it's just... She says, they're like, oh, well, can you prove that this is indigenous land? And she's like, well, there's all these artifacts there and stuff, but it doesn't even matter. It was always all our land, kind of thing. And I'm like, yeah, that's fucking right. Correct. Exactly.
I will say, so the pool scene was bad. But we did get the scene of the dad throwing the racket at that guy and him going, ugh!
Yeah.
And, like, that was pretty good.
He just acts, he's trying to hit on the underage girl and he's like, oh, I was on the tennis team, and tries to swing a racket and he falls into the pool. It's not even a racket, it's like a water
It's like one of those water polo toy racket things or something.
Yeah, it's some kind of, like, 6-year-old's toy.
Yeah.
And he chucks it into the pool, and they just have, like, this ripped kind of, like, young teen, you know, that's supposed to be, like, some heartthrob guy or whatever, and he's like, they just cut from that. Like, it's just the weirdest reaction.
It's so weird.
It's very good. It's really good.
Hey, man. And then the little girl dresses up little Bigfoot like E.T. because somebody saw an E.T. movie recently, and we can do that. And then they wander around.
This is what we thought Little Bigfoot 1 was going to be, and it never did.
And the second one, they just went full E.T. But so they're wandering around town, and we need to know, specifically everybody in town needs to know that this is not Little Bigfoot.
Yes.
So the girl is constantly talking to it as Little Bigfoot directly. Like, hey, Little Bigfoot, they need to know you're not Little Bigfoot.
We've got to hide that you're a Bigfoot, little Bigfoot. If people know you're a Bigfoot, little Bigfoot, then we'd be in real trouble, little Bigfoot.
It does cut to a kid in the candy store talking about a horrible, horrific monster gorilla that was under his bed killing people in town.
Yeah.
And then he sees the little Bigfoot. He's like, ha, that's little Bigfoot. That was the one. And the mom who's just like, yeah, whatever, fucking kid is pretty good.
Also, that kid's shoplifting the whole time that
kid
he's
is
doing this.
stealing candy,
It's so good.
but he's doing it wrong. You can't just shove all the candy in one pocket. It's really obvious then, because it's bulging outward. You dumb kid.
He also shoved a bunch of it in his mouth, which is also not going to work very well.
And plus, okay, so you're going camping. You're hitting up all the touristy, shops, and you're just stealing taffy. Man, they got pyrite. They got aquamarines. They got geodes.
I was gonna say you got to steal a geode. I was just about to say a geode. Fuck, you got to get some amethyst. They
got those little wooden frogs,
little quartz
that make noise when you put a stick over it. Like, come on, man, what are you doing, kid?
It's something interesting.
But you're gonna eat all that candy and not have any memories of this great trip that you took to whatever national forest we're in now.
Yeah. You need like a piece of rock that's carved somewhat like the actual state that you're in.
You didn't even put a penny in the machine and 50 cents to flatten it.
And flatten it out
like a different. This
kids are doing it wrong.
The kid's not going place. The kids don't get it. They don't get it. Anyway, after they bring them back, and the other kids find out, because like the sheriff stops them to give them the lollipop. It's irrelevant.
There's a lot of padding in all of this.
But they stop back, and Game Boy Kid is talking to the sister. He's like, hey, you can't bring little Bigfoot out. Like, dress him up. That's a little Bigfoot.
Everyone knows that's a little Bigfoot.
Come on. And then they say a line, which I will not repeat on this podcast. Because I'm very mad about them saying it.
They finally called you on all of your bullshit.
No.
Somebody agrees with me. They know.
And I will not put the clip right now, and you will not hear it.
Smarten up, Shelly. He's not a dog. We can't do this by ourselves.
Wow.
Fuck.
Who are we gonna trust? We can't tell Dad. He'll do the
I think that they just blew up your spot, Boyks.
Fuck!
Thank you, movie. I appreciate it. Somebody to back me up.
Fuck! Is everything okay, kids?
Anyway, the dad's on a 99-cent a minute sex line during the scene.
Yeah, what the... God damn it. Like, guys, I'm busy. This is costing me 98 cents a minute.
I'm doing business.
Jim's gotta tell you something.
Oh, hold on. Brian, 98 cents a minute, okay? I'm not gonna be that long.
Dad!
What kind of business are you doing at 98 cents a minute, my man? Because that's kind of a specific thing that I always knew. Maybe he's getting his horoscope read. Maybe that's what it is.
Maybe he was checking what movies were on at the local
Oh god,
theater.
he's on like movie phone
It's
or
like
whatever.
99 cents a minute, but you have to wait for all the other films to get the one you want to hear the showtime of. Like, what a pain. Anyway, so the kids show the dad. They get him off the sex line first. It was Nick. Nick was on the sex line, in case you're wondering who to ask for when you call.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, he's a very, very attentive. But you always want to ask for Nick.
Nick's great. But they show him little Bigfoot. He's like, oh, Jesus, fuck. Oh, why does it smell like that?
God, what is that? Woof.
I don't know why this
exactly
is the
like
thing they went with.
It's like when I ripped it in the car. Wait a minute.
And then he's like, no, you can't keep little Bigfoot. And then little Bigfoot touches his hand, and they hold hands, and it's very sensual. And he's like, well, all right.
Okay.
I guess I can marry little Big.
It's so... Yeah, that is real weird and creepy. It's real creepy.
He definitely falls in love with little Bigfoot. That's what happens in that scene, and
they stare deeply
weird.
into each other's eyes for like 15 seconds as they kind of stroke each other's hands. And then he's like, "No, we can keep him.
I guess I can keep him. I can fix him."
You know, it's so wrong, but it feels so right.
This is ridiculous. I think it's ridiculous to even consider doing...
Prime?
Ah.
Oh my.
Oh.
He's a single
hair,
father.
it's so soft.
He hasn't been the same since his wife left. You know, I get it. I really don't like their interactions.
You know, I have a shirt just like that.
I can't believe they have the same fashion.
We dress the same. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, oh man, we're made for each other.
And then that leads into car chase number 2. 3 if you count the helicopter chase at the beginning. Yeah.
Yeah. The helicopter chase is the only real chase, honestly.
Yeah.
That's the one where they actually do stunts like flip the car over.
True.
That was the sad thing in the first movie. For all the talk about, I'm going to make this bigger and better with a real budget and actual actors, everything is actually toned down.
It's definitely not as good as... yeah. I feel like he felt like he had to be more restrictive because he wanted to do a Spielberg movie.
I guess. But
And
there was way better car chases and more car chases in the first one. Like, they were doing way more stunts.
Yeah, to the point where it ate into the plot, thankfully.
Yeah, but that was good. Like,
Yeah.
it was better than this shit.
So the dad leads off half of the army of hunters that finally find the little Bigfoot because they've been tracking them using their magic tracker.
Yes, and he goes, "No, that's not where the Bigfoot is.
I know where the weed is. It's this way. No,
he
it's
just
that
magically
way.
knows it because he's indigenous."
But the hunters like split up. They're like, "You go that way. I'll go home," and then they leave. And then the tracker eventually finds them after they go back to the Bigfoot weed cave.
Yes, which I need an aside here really quickly because this is incredibly enough important to the plot of this film.
Yeah.
The children find a cave that has all of the art on it, all the indigenous art and artifacts. And the one child that they blackmailed into coming touches the art and he goes, "Oh, this is like in school where I was learning the language, and now it has absorbed into me, and I know I know the Chinook language." And he just starts speaking in the fucking language of the Chinook tribe.
It's pretty racist.
Supposedly.
Yeah, it's pretty racist.
Because he just absorbed the knowledge by touching their art.
Yeah.
This is going to be important.
He specifically learned the word protector, I think.
Yes, or protection.
Something like that. So when the tracker shows up and takes a gun from the industrialist, because he's trying to push him to kill little Bigfoot. He aims his gun, and then all their kids are like, no, don't kill little Bigfoot, don't shoot him. And also, when he shows up, he's like, Sasquatch!
Yes.
Sasquatch! Like they're doing some sort of Marvel movie villain thing or something. I don't know. Like,
the whole time this tracker keeps on talking to the boss and going like, "Well, but it's sacred. I shouldn't be doing this. It's sacred. I shouldn't be doing
to my
this.
people.
It's sacred.
Yeah.
I shouldn't be doing this." And it just doesn't go anywhere. He keeps raising his objections.
I think it's because the industrialist guy is like, "Hey, if you don't kill little Bigfoot, you're not getting $5,000."
Yeah.
So he retracts his money offer, and then that is enough. The capitalism is enough to ruin the morals of this man.
I guess,
but
they don't really show it in any.
But all the kids are like, "Don't kill little Bigfoot," and then that one little shit who can magically learn the language is like, "No, me, a white child, needs to teach you about your language and culture."
Yes, don't you recognize your own language? And he's like, "Here's the word for protection. It means protection. Don't you know what that is? This is sacred. Don't you know your culture?"
Which is
not kidding.
It's fucked up, and it's enough to stop him from shooting little Bigfoot.
No, sir, please. Don't shoot him, please.
What? Oh my god, the
Don't you know the meaning of the word? Kloshna to protect, to nurture.
What?
You're sacred. Please, don't
What?
We need these white kids to teach this man about his native heritage.
Oh my god.
You don't understand.
Oh my god.
But then the industrialist grabs the gun.
Wait, I do know my culture.
He grabs the gun and blasts him in the heart.
Yes.
And then little Bigfoot goes rigid. Rigor mortis kicks in.
Yes. Yeah, they empty the suit.
And falls
Very
backwards
obviously.
down the rocks, hitting every rock along the way.
Mm-hmm.
Down a cliff. Into a ravine. Where you're like, oh, that's a dead little Bigfoot.
Oh, yeah. It looks horrible. And then the industrialist man goes, ah! Oh
no! The little Bigfoot's weed has injected me.
Why do I hurt?
What edibles did he give me?
And then the indigenous man is like, oh, that's the curse because you've harmed something sacred. And he goes, but it feels bad.
It feels bad to do things that are bad to the environment.
Yeah, it should. You should feel bad.
What's happening? Why do I feel this pain?
What?
What can I do to help it?
Nothing!
What?
You have harmed the sacred. You are feeling the pain.
And you're like, wait, they didn't have this and they killed the mom.
No, nobody gave a
Like-
shit when the mom died. It's just little Bigfoot TM.
And the industrialist is like, oh my god, I only meant to knock him unconscious so that I could harvest him and exploit him for capitalism. I didn't mean to kill him. Now I feel bad.
And then-
I deserve punishment for feeling bad because I did the bad thing. That's the dialogue in
That
this.
is the bad. That is it. But all the kids are like, hey, you want to see a dead body? So they look over the cliff to look at the dead body. And it is a very dead body.
It's a very dead body. It's this glassy-eyed, like, stare at the other side of the ravine as it's, like, laying on the side all twisted up.
And then,
super rigid.
For some reason, the movie didn't end.
No!
For some reason.
It's going.
It kept going. And what happened was the environmentalist lady, who was the land back movement, shows up with the sheriff. And they're
randomly they
just
come
for
in.
no reason. And they take little Bigfoot's body into his weed cave. And then the trapper uses his magic powers to revive little Bigfoot from the dead.
We didn't have enough indigenous magic yet.
Which then hard cuts the little Bigfoot wandering around in the forest with other Bigfoots, because now there's more of them or whatever. I don't know. And then it ends.
I hate this. I hate this.
I did go through the credits, like I was saying earlier. In the first movie, they did acknowledge that they were creating this movie specifically for the Supreme Being.
Yes.
This movie also has that credit.
In quotation marks.
In quotes, the Supreme Being.
The Supreme Being.
Which could mean a lot of things.
It could mean a lot of things.
This is not what I was hoping for at a Little Bigfoot 2, I'm gonna be honest.
No.
Little Bigfoot 1 was a surprise.
Yes.
And it was not good, but it was...
No, it was bad.
It was funny good.
It was very funny, though. Yeah, absolutely.
This was just a struggle.
Extremely, yeah. It was very boring for most of it. So much of it is padding, and then the only parts that are plot aren't funny, they're just miserable.
Yeah.
Like, the dad is played so stupid that it's not funny anymore. Like, it's Adam Sandler kind of levels of dumb, do you know what I mean? Like, it's just...
Somebody trying to act funny is not funny. And I think that's where it comes from. And
yeah, it comes very forced.
I suspect it's the same in Babylon 5 and also the other shows he was part of, to be honest.
I did not like Stephen First in this in the slightest.
Yeah, he is awful.
I do think that he had a real big struggle to carry the, writing, because the writing is abysmal, like beyond abysmal. It's terrible, terrible, terrible dialogue at all times. But I feel like Little Bigfoot 1 and movies like that have similar problems, right? Like, it's not like those ones are written well, but you still have, like, that villain was great.
And there was a clear message. And that message was fuck loggers.
Yes.
Right?
And this one kind of has the clear message, in a way, too, of, like, indigenous people deserve their land back, which I agree with, but it does it in, and thus... white children must show them why.
Yeah, like, and then
you're like,
the
whoa,
thank
whoa,
you,
wait,
the Christian God or whatever.
Yeah,
like, come on, like, it's a little gross. Also,
Yeah.
no Bilbo. They removed the Bilbo branding from Little Bigfoot, so they can instead just call him Little Bigfoot TM.
That's the other thing, is that it's trying to do this whole, like... Yeah, it's trying to do this message of, we want environmentalism and indigenous culture and all this, while at the same time being like, oh man, I can't wait to franchise this. Money. And you're like, that doesn't... Either this is a film out of love with a message, or it's, ooh, I want money, right? And it really... It ends up on the I want money side of things, and it doesn't feel like it's actually believing in the message that it's supposedly trying to do.
Unfortunate, yeah. I would say let's rate the dog. However...
I was going to rate the dog with what they say in the movie.
Unfortunately, there was a scene.
Unfortunately, they called your bullshit, and now you can't hide. You have nowhere.
Smarten up, Shelly. He's not a dog.
But this can't be the only film without a dog. It can't.
It hasn't been. It hasn't been, Boyks. I hate to break this to you, but this is not the first one.
This is the first one.
You've done this many times.
I'm pretty sure this is the first one that is implicitly without a dog. So I'm going to fix that. I can fix it. We will rate the Game Boy. There are 2 Game Boys in this movie.
I'm going to rate that as a better had a link cable out of 10. Because, I never had a link cable. The very few people that I ever found with another Game Boy, I was always like, God damn it, I don't even have the link cable. I finally found somebody. Now I can't even do it.
Game Boy in the car on a road trip in 98 is a tough sell. That is very hard to see. Like, are you angling it towards, especially 2 of them? Are you just angling them away from each other towards each window so you can't interact with each other the whole time you're playing?
I mean, you'd have to. That's the only way you can see what was going on,
right? So
yeah, they very obviously didn't have the Game Boy Light cover thing.
No, they didn't have any attachments. Nothing. No. Yeah, I'm gonna give that a basic bitch Game Boy out of 10. That's my rating. That's it for Little Bigfoot 2.
What a film.
Was this a purchase I made that was a good investment? No.
Was this a thing that you subjected me to specifically, as you said, for revenge? Yes. Was it a good idea?
No.
No. We've both learned. I learned last week that revenge doesn't pay, and you learned this week that revenge doesn't pay. Can we end the cycle of violence, Boyks, please?
I think that's the real lesson of Little Bigfoot 2.
Yeah, you know what? We're going to make our own lesson out of this. If it's going to try and after-school special us, we found the real thing was our friendship along the way, and that revenge is never worth taking, kids.
It's not worth it. Yeah.
But you know what is worth it? Supporting us on Patreon.
Seamless. That was seamless.
I'm super good at this now. It's 203 episodes, man. I gotta get pretty good. But yeah, no, we do buy these. Boyks does actually have a VCR setup and ordered this off of Amazon. And, or wherever you get these dark tapes. Oh my god.
The person I bought this from had to message me and be like, hey, somebody
Are you sure you want it?
Somebody punched this tape and it's all cracked and it's kind of broken.
They warned you about it being cracked, but not about what was on it?
Not about the content. Yeah, they're like, are you sure you want Little Bigfoot 2? Like,
no, they didn't have to ask. They're like, listen, if you're buying Little Bigfoot 2, I know that you want Little Bigfoot 2. I know the kind of pervert you are.
My eBay purchase history is like Neverending Story 3 shit. Like, they know.
They know. They know that you're a sicko. But yeah, if you'd like to help support us sickos, so that we can continue buying these movies and doing this, we do really appreciate it. You can also follow us on social media. We're on Blue Sky, where we're at Rough Cuts Cast, or at Rough Cuts.
Just at Rough Cuts, yeah.
RUF. And then you can also find us at Gmail, same thing, roughcutscast@gmail.com.
You know what? I'm glad that we've reached a new era of Rough Cuts where we no longer punish each other as a joke.
Yeah, we've moved past these things. I'm going to punch Boyks as a joke next week.
No, fuck you. Did you learn nothing from Little Bigfoot 2?
Boyks, I did learn it from Little Bigfoot too. I learned it from the beginning. I learned it from watching you.
No!
The Dad and the Son. It was you that taught me this, Boyks. You're the one that brought the violence.
Alright, anyway, see you next time.
My whole life ruined by dogs.